just wanna be free with my people to prosper and hold it down. Don't you sit and wait, contemplating on a revolution. The time is now. I just wanna be free. 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 Can't you see? I just wanna be free.
Okay. Another episode of the Things I Wish I Knew About Money podcast. I'm your host, Kamille Smith, and boy, what a day. So I just want to first say I decided to make this title special for today because it is 11/11. It is one of my favorite numbers, but of course 12 is my first number. And also I just want to give thanks for the veterans or the active ladies and gentlemen that are in the army that are doing good things. And also, I want to say, y'all, I am so sad that I'm missing the M2M event. I know Ian Dunlap is in the building. I really want to see him, but I know there's some folks that are there in presence with the information that's going on. So I hope you guys tell me how it is at the end. I'll probably have an episode for that as well because I love to do a follow-up of just things that people have learned. So really sad about that, but you know what, next time. But it is still Financial Literacy Month, so I'm glad that type of event is happening for folks to be able to gain some knowledge. And hopefully, like I said, I know there's a couple of folks there. Hopefully they'll be able to, give me a 411 on what's happening. And this Financial Literacy Month has been interesting because this is the first time I've been so active. If you are following me on Instagram or TikTok, I'm actually posting like every day. Obviously there's some ways I can work through that, but I'm actually physically taping myself to make reels, and that's something I never used to do. So I'm getting, in my comfort zone on that. So I'm really excited. However, one thing that I talked about, I think not Friday, but Thursday, was actually being able to talk about tax planning. And that's the one thing I wanted to talk about because I'm really trying to amp up my business, especially with the taxes. And I feel like the one thing that I have noticed throughout the years of doing it is that a lot of folks aren't prepared for the tax season. Even though everyone knows when tax season happens. It starts from early, mid-February, and the due date for regular folks is April 30th, unless we're talking about the pandemic where they had a little pushback. And I find that a lot of people only remember that part, and they're like, oh, but I remember when it was like this. I was like, folks, it's not the same. So I wanted to really push and have an episode or discussion to have folks really consider that aspect. Like I really want everyone to be organized, and I'm honestly want the folks that are self-employed as well to be really focused and organized, because Gone are the days when I get a bag full of receipts. If I see like bags or a shoebox of receipts, I really want to teach folks to be prepared and be focused. So please, first things foremost, um, Canadian taxes, it's different from the American. So you usually hear folks saying Uncle Sam, IRS. Ours, I call them a different name, but their name is CRA, or Canada Revenue Agency. And if you actually go back to, I think it was episode 90, when we spoke to Tay, the income tax baddie, he was able to give us some information about how to, just one, respect the people that work there, and then also how to prepare yourself. So there are important dates or deadlines. And the first one, and this is for everyone that is has a 9 to 5, gets a T4, whatever money or income you receive from January 1st to December 31st, that is the income that you are claiming. That is kind of different for folks that are self-employed. Actually, no, sorry. Self-employed are the same, but it's different for folks that are incorporated because there are different fiscal years. And fiscal year, so there's calendar year and there's fiscal year. And, I want to do what I usually do, give you guys some information. So bear with me, because I want you guys to know the difference between the calendar year and fiscal year. And if you don't know it, I'm not faulting you. That's okay. That is A-okay. So here is the stats on that. Not stats, but the information. So calendar year. Okay. So this is a calendar year. It's a 1 year period. So it's from January 1st to December 31st. Normally, that's what folks are going to be experiencing. So if you have a fiscal year, so a fiscal year is a little bit different. Let me just send the facts, because I don't want to give any wrong information today. Okay. The fiscal year is just a little bit different, not too different, but it's just a 1 year period that companies, governments use for financial reporting and budgeting. So I'm gonna keep going back and forth with giving you guys the information, but I'm really excited for this because I really want everyone to be organized. So the first things first is you want to have a checklist. I'm debating whether I should show the checklist because that is usually how I start off with folks. Like, you want to first start with a checklist because there's going to be certain information that I'm going to need. Actually, let me rewind. If you are a person that has been with me for previous years, you are going to, I'm already going to have that information, but some information that I totally need, actually, I do have the checklist in front of me. Is this, I always have so many windows open. Aha, there it is. All right. So the personal information, and first things first is you want to be very honest with the individual that is preparing your taxes. If you aren't honest with doing your taxes and something unfortunate happens, it's like auditing, it's gonna first cost more money. And then a second, it's you're gonna lose the trust of that person, or just they're gonna have to like really take in what you say because you're being dishonest. So the first thing first is social insurance number, so your SIN number. That's very important. You're gonna need to know that, because I actually, if I don't have a SIN number, I actually can't complete your taxes, right? Date of birth, information about spouse or common law partner. Sorry. If you remember the episode with Ty the Income Baddie, it's very important to disclose this. I personally am not comfortable knowing this information and proceeding with the taxes. I would be like, listen, you can't say a single, because the no say you're not single. I know, especially there's a couple things you want, like your tax preparer or tax accountant need to know this information. So you have to be as honest as possible, right? So spouse and or child net income amounts. So if you have a dependent, also want to know that information about dependents. Tuition transfer amount from spouse or child. Last year's tax return. The reason why is because, and I need to start implementing this for new clients, because you need to just review the last year's tax return just to see if there's any mistakes or anything, and just to educate you on where things may have went wrong. Right? Remember, taxes is educational purpose, or educational as well. What else? Notice of assessment from last year. So this notice of assessment is a clear way for me to be able to figure out your RSP contribution, your tax-free saving. Well, the tax-free savings is on the online account, but it's just other ways to do strategies. So this checklist is with strategies. Total amount of installment payments made to the CRA. So if you've ever had to pay more than $3,000 or more to the CRA, you get the opportunity to either pay it in full or split it quarterly. Depending on how you feel, I would advise some folks to do the quarterly payment if things are tight. You actually realize that as long as you mention this installment payment, you'll see some, not all, will see it reduce their income tax owed. So that's one thing to really think about, right? What else? So, and other CRA correspondence. So it's really important to be like, hey, by the way, I have a little audit that's going on. I need to know. I need to know this, because then this is part of the strategy on how to maximize on the credits that you have, right? And then we have the income. Like I said, you have to be very honest. Actually, going forward, I'm not saying I don't trust you, but I rather have access to your online account, so I'll be able to review things and be able to decipher whether you're telling the truth or not. Right? I'm not saying you're lying, but I'm saying there's some things that you may miss out. So there's income. There's a employment income, like your T4, your sole self-employed business income is a little bit different. Either I have the form, the T2125, or sometimes you get the T5013 or the T4A. So these are certain slips that you're going to be receiving. If it was interest, dividends, or mutual funds, you'd get the T3, T5, T5008. If there's rental income and expenses, you have the T776 form. That's the form that I would use. So rental and self-employed folks, kind of in the same category. I would definitely want to have the business expense template for you to be able to plan that wisely. And the reason why is because instead of doing everything all at once from February, March and scrambling, February, March, April, scrambling, like, oh, Kamille, I can't find it. If you actually look at the business expense template that I have, you can actually do it throughout the year, and things will be easier. Unless you want to just do it yourself at that time, and you'll see how tedious it is. There's also old age security and CPP. So you got the T4A OAS or the T4AP, other pension and annuity income. That's a T4A, RSP and RIF income. That's from a T4 TSP, T4 RIF. So I'm just not gonna say them all because it's a tongue twister. So these will be on the checklist of things that I would need. And just to do a review, like there's gonna be some things that you forget, and that's fine. Like that's fine. That's like with our communication, I'll be able to decipher whether okay, so this person's age 65, there's a possibility that they have the CPP or the old age. Okay, this person said that they have investment property. Okay, I know that they have rental income. Hey, have we talked about you having the business expense template so you'll be able to decipher all your expenses throughout the year? That's the reason for a tax plan or a tax strategy throughout this year, and making it easier for everyone, for all of us, because it saves us time and forgetting the important things throughout the year, right? Also, there is other important information. A sale of a principal residence. That's important to know. A sale of a deemed sale of stocks, bonds, or real estate. So if you're into investing, you love to do option trading, you love to do futures, or you just like trading in general, it would be ideal for you to be able to disclose that to me, right? Because, but however, it'd be nice for you to provide that information. But if once you provide that information, I will know that what certain things I'm looking for. So if you were to tell me, oh, Kamille, I have a high interest savings account and I keep getting interest and the interest is going up, I'm already in my mind knowing that I have to look for a T3 or a T5 for you because you probably have more interest income than norm, which is fine. But then we can also do a strategy on how to, if you have enough room in your TFSA, make a strategy to move more money into that. So those are certain strategies that I like to think about, and that's the reason why I say instead of waiting until we can't do anything after December 31st, let's meet before so we can strategize, because there's also individuals that are having employment income and decided to get another business or another job, and they weren't aware about the taxes that are coming out, or the not enough taxes coming out, or too much taxes coming out. They're like, yo, Kamille, I'm just taking the tax. And I'm like, okay, so let's have a plan for that. And it's just like the tax planning is just basically us sitting down and figuring out a plan before the year ends, right? So then there's certain receipts that I would love from Uno. So there's the RSP contribution. And even though you have until March 1st to do that contribution, it is ideal for us to figure out a plan before December 31st, because once December 31st hits, boom, that's your income. But we can have a strategy with your RSP contributions, right? There's employment expenses. There's, if you work from home, there's expenses like that. If you are like an apprenticeship or have tools expense, that is something. If you have union dues that are not included into your T4 slip, that is information I would need to know. If you did exams for your professional certification, teacher school supplies, for the people that have picked me them, I want to know the childcare expenses as well. That's important because I need to know that. There's also donations. So I like to mention every time someone provides me this list, and then I go through it, I always follow up with a question like, hey, did you have a medical expense? Did you do any donations? Did you do this? Did you move? I actually had 2 people that moved and they didn't tell me at first. And it wasn't until I was like, hold on. Did you move? Because they're at first they were using their same address, like they were showing me their same address, and I was like, wait. I just acknowledged that you actually moved. I was like, no, I need your moving expenses. I need your home buyer's amount, your tuition expenses, a student loan interest amounts. I think the student loan interest isn't given this year because it was exempt, and I have to double check with that. But there's just so many things that can be deducted that some folks like just slip their mind. So even if it was, hey, do you want to schedule a meeting with me and just, just hear what's happening in just the rundown, so I'm able to get an idea of the things to check off. Or let's say you have a disability tax credit for self or dependents. That's something, we want to check off and make sure. So it's always good to be honest, be honest, have your receipts, and then let's just keep it moving, right? Hold on, I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, so there's also I found 5 tips on how to stay organized. So there's a checklist. So boom. So we did the checklist. I really think keeping everything in a folder, in a particular folder. I've gone to people's yacht and I'm like, you see that? I want it only in that. Your taxes can be in that. So on and so forth. Just so you're not scrambling and like, oh my gosh, Kamille, I can't find everything. Where can it be? Have it in one particular place, right? It's better to be on top of things than flustered. So I think this one is important for me, is being able to keep up with the income tax changes. So I heard how the CPP has increased, the OAS, I feel like it's going to increase, but that could be a post or a reel that I talk about soon. Those are certain things that I would educate you on during that meeting. So the meeting that I'd have for tax planning is literally educating you on why. And I would hope with the 5-6 years that I've been doing this, that the recommendations that I've suggested is followed through. I know sometimes it's not followed through, but I hope this year going forward that I'm really gonna push doing tax strategy meetings so people are able to be prepared than being flustered in the new year, right? I know there's a lot of things that's going on in the world, but why not do one less thing that makes you stressful, right? So I think being able to know what income tax changes are happening for me personally is a great way. And I think I'll actually do that in the next newsletter. I do have a monthly newsletter that goes out. So if you want to get that newsletter, it's once a month. I promise I'm not spamming you like crazy. You're able to know what's happening. Hit me up in don't put it in the chat, but you can personally message me and say like, Kamille, I would love to be in your news. I would love to receive your newsletter so I'm up to date with what's going on. And also staying organized throughout the year. Actually, I'm just gonna show it because this is one way I try to have folks being organized, because it's better to be organized than nothing at all. Or actually, there's 2 things. So you can do it with a spreadsheet, or you can use Waves or QuickBooks. So if you're self-employed, this is for the self-employed folks especially. And I'm doing this is because you know who you are. I need y'all to just roll with me. Roll with me, please. If I send you the business expense template, I would love for you to follow the guidance and do it. Unless you want to use QuickBooks, Waves, whatsoever to have your expenses on track, so you're able to know. And because I actually tell you, if your business is like, let's say, real estate, I'll tell you what type of expenses you can claim. If you're a registered massage therapist, I'll tell you the type of expenses that you can claim. And anyone that's self-employed, voila. This one's the biggest one. Every year, actually, every year, what I do, I know it may sound annoying, but every December 31st or January 1st, I ask folks to do this. Check your odometer, okay? For the self-employed folks, if you are driving a car, if you use a vehicle, please, I need to know your total from January 1st to December 31st, and I also need to know your business mileage. But it makes life easier once you know how you started, like how much clicks you had at just January 1st and how many clicks you had December 31st. If you have like car maintenance, it kind of tells it, so it actually helps. So you can use that as well. But I'm going to keep this on for a long time because I just want the folks that are self-employed to realize this, especially if you're driving, especially if you're an Uber driver. If you're doing Uber, if you're doing Instacart, if you're doing Uber Eats, you must do this. Okay. So, and that's a different way of staying organized, right? I just really want folks to be organized because it actually makes both of our lives better. And like I said, you won't be flustered at the end of the year, right? I'm not going to show someone's actual business expense, but I'm going to show. Voila, let me find it. So then there's being organized and okay, boom. All right, so boom, I got it. I'm going to show it to y'all. And this will make your life a little bit. This is why I try to make everyone's lives easier, right? Let me learn how to share the screen. Boom. Hold on. I make this very easy. Actually, I have two options. I give you guys two options. You could do it this way if you have to do HST as well. So these are the type of expenses you're going to be considering. And once again, I would give you descriptions of types of expenses that you can claim, or these are the type of expenses. You could switch it, you could change it if you want. I make it really easy. So you have the option of doing it all together, or you can even do it month by month, right? And if you remember how I said it's like all about having a budget, this way you can actually know how much you're making. Oof. How much you're making each year, and then how much you're making each month and how much you're spending each month. So you'll be able to get an idea. So anyone that like, Kamille, should I get a HST number? You remember that as long as you're making $30,000 in 12 months, then that's when you'd want to consider getting an HST number. If you're not making that, then it's not necessary at the moment in time, right? So I really strive to help folks figure this out because there's accounting fees, there's meals and entertainment, there's travel, there's interest and bank charges, there's business, insurance, and then even this part, you see, a description of your vehicle and whether it's leasing or finance, right? So that is one thing I would love for the listen. I'm just seeing the chat. So hello. Good evening. And yes, Jay, this is very familiar. You know what? I had to Jesse Jay. I had to give a praise. Jesse is one of the only folks that provide me with the best spreadsheet I see, because I don't have to answer any questions. And the reason why he did that is because he knows that the accountant that he was dealing with a couple times would drill it into his head. So I am here to drill it in everyone's head. If you need a spreadsheet, please contact me. And most of the people that need a spreadsheet have the spreadsheet. So you can even use the one that I previously gave. I just would like for it to be accurate. And I want the right information. If I have to question your expenses, then that means something's up, right? So I don't want to be like, oh, are you sure? Are you sure that's how much you paid on meals? Like, can I see the receipts? I shouldn't have to be like, now I can't trust you. And so I think it's very I trust you enough to be able to give me the right information. But if I feel like I can't trust you, then I'm going to have to look at your receipts and prove. And then that's going to be more, because that's bookkeeping, fees, and taxes, right? So I really strive for folks to be truthful. Be truthful. Just tell me the truth. There's no reason to lie. Listen, because CRA, I can help you. But when CRA come true, knocking on the door, I'm like, shit, that you should have listened. Right? So also there are you got to keep track of your carry forward amounts. So that's why it's very advisable for me to be able to see your online account. So I'm able to see your RSPs. If you have any capital gains or capital losses from previous years, just so we can strategize, right? And planning, the main thing is to plan ahead to reduce your taxes and your marginal income tax rates. So we want to lower your gross and taxable income by deferring income to another year. That's one strategy. Take all allowable deductions, such as maximizing your RSP contributions, and use all your available tax credits to lower your total tax owing. So these are the way to do that. I'll tell you how, don't worry, is booking an appointment with me. And I know I have it from before. If I don't have it from before, I'm just going to say, email me here. I'm about to put that in the chat right now. I just saw it and it disappeared on me. Boom. So if you want to be able to do your taxes, have a tax planning before December 31st, please schedule a meeting with me. You can email me, or I'm going to put it in the chat. Uno momento. I know I should have had this one before, but bear with me, folks. Bear with me. So what else? Or I'm really striving on being organized because the checklist will help you for the most part. The checklist, so I would say when we have the meeting, we'll sit down, do the checklist, strategize on the things that I can do at the moment, because obviously you're not going to know what your overall taxes will be, but we will know year to date. So I really want to sit down with folks that are in a higher tax bracket and strategize how to lower your taxable income, because I know I've experienced folks actually like, yo, Kamille, why do I owe back? And I'm like, yo, you got paid a certain amount and you never told me. Like, you have to tell me these things, because if you just tell me at the end, there's no way I can help you, right? So I really want to tell people throughout the year, you have to let me know when there's certain things that are happening in your life. I want to know when you get married, so I can say, I want to know when you moved into a new house. I want to know if you did a donation, if you bought investment property. I want to know if everything. I need to know everything. And if you're not comfortable telling me that stuff, then I feel like, are we even a right fit? Because at the same time, you're going to be caught up in a situation where it could have been prevented because we would have strategized, really, right? So I'm really pushing that. I'm really telling y'all to talk to me. We could be great. We can build a great rapport, relationship, whatnot, if you just are mindful of what you say to me. Not mindful, being honest with what you're saying with me, so we can make this a better scenario for everyone, right? So boom, we found it. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to edit this. So, shucks, hold on. Sorry. So boom. So here's another way to find me, and I'm going to pin it in the chat. Boom. So there's no excuse. It's in the show notes. It's here. If you want to schedule a meeting with me so we can tax plan, tax strategize, please do it before December 31st. I really want to help as many people as possible to have an easy, streamless tax season in 2024 for taxes in 2023. There's even strategies there's another strategy that I saw. I want to know how many times you sold things, or if there's a possibility that you need to sell things and it's in a non-registered account. Or if you don't know whether you should put something in your RSP or in your tax-free savings. These things are like strategizing. So it's ideal for you to just sit down with me and have that conversation. So book the meeting. Okay. I didn't want to have a very, very long episode. I just wanted to just mention a couple things. So be mindful of, if you're self-employed, keep your receipts. Let's strategize a system that you'll be able to keep the receipts and know what your expenses are throughout the year. Also for you self-employed people, business account, personal account, separate them, please. For the love of God, separate them. I'm going to start charging extra for bookkeeping. I was being nice before, but no more Mrs. Nice Gal. All right? Keep your receipts. Taking consideration of donations, taking consideration of your RSP contributions, taking consideration of sales of stocks or investments. And also, if you move, tell me. Especially if you move more than, I believe it's 40 kilometers, I need to know. Okay. And then also, if you are apprenticeship or if you're in tradespeople, I want to know your tool expense because you're able to claim that as well. So yeah, I wanted to make it as short as possible. Maybe it should have been shorter, but meh, my platform, my please. So make sure you like, subscribe, and book an appointment. Book an appointment, okay? Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to like, share, subscribe. All right. Until next time, folks. Tell someone out there that you love them, or check on your strong friends because they're probably struggling, and it's cold. Oh, do y'all see how daylight saving time last week, effed up the whole scene? And now the day looks like it's so dark at a certain time. Like I just remembered. I don't like daylight savings time. I don't like how it's getting cold up in Canada or Toronto. I don't care if I've been here for 30 odd years. I'm not made for this coldness. So soon time I'm gonna be out during these times. But anyways, enough of my venting and ranting. All right, folks. Peace and love. All right.
Financial literacy, knowledge is a must. So link the flip boss, watch the result flash, and watch your life change and feel a better cause. You have a business or a plan and want to make it. Yeah, flip and floss, how they want to manifest it. Yeah, and if you want to better manage all your credit, call the boss, flip and floss. No doubt, then we do it. Yeah, flip and floss, money literacy boss. Yeah, greatness in our blood because we're working for your cause. Flip and floss, money literacy boss. Yeah, boots up your knowledge for your minimal cost. Hey, yeah, flip and floss, money literacy boss. Greatness in our blood because we're working for your cause. Flip and floss, money literacy boss. Yeah, up your knowledge for your minimal cost.